Your website is losing you customers right now. Not because it looks bad, not because you picked the wrong font, because the copy, the words, are doing almost nothing to tell a potential client why they should stay on the page, let alone get in touch. Most solopreneurs know this. The problem is not awareness. It is that fixing it feels impossible. Writing about yourself is genuinely hard. When you are too close to your own business, you can't see what a potential client sees. So you either write too much, say too little, or produce copy so generic it could belong to anyone. Hiring a professional copywriter costs between $2,000 and $8,000 for a full website. That is not realistic for most solopreneurs in the early stages. So the copy stays broken, and the site keeps underperforming. By the end of this video, you will have a complete workflow to write a 5-page website: home, about, services, FAQ, contact, in one afternoon. Free tools only. And the copy will sound like you, not a chatbot. Let's build the system. Before you write a single word of website copy, you need to build one foundational document. This is not optional. It is the step most people skip, and it is exactly why most AI-generated website copy sounds like it came from a template. It's called your positioning brief. Think of it as the input document that feeds every page. Without it, the AI is writing from assumptions, generic ones. With it, the AI has the context it needs to write copy that is specific to your business, your clients, and your voice. Here's how to build it. Open Claude at claude.ai. Use a positioning prompt to have Claude interview you, one question at a time. Answer specifically. If you say, "I help small businesses grow," that is what the copy will reflect. If you say, "I help independent bookkeepers get off spreadsheets and onto cloud accounting in 90 days without losing a client," that is a different output entirely. After the interview, Claude compiles a 5-section brief. Paste it into a Google Doc. That document stays open for every step that follows. It is your source of truth. Skipping the brief is the single most common mistake in AI copywriting. People open a chat window and type, "Write my homepage." The output is technically a homepage. It is also completely useless. With the brief in place, you work through each page in sequence. The sequence matters. Each page builds context that feeds the next. Don't jump around. The order is home, about, services, FAQ, contact. The homepage has one job: make the right person feel immediately seen and give them a reason to read on. It is not a brochure. It is a filter. Use your homepage prompt and paste your positioning brief at the bottom. The About page is not your biography. Clients are not on that page to learn about you. They are on it to find out whether you understand people like them. The Services page is where most solopreneurs write descriptions of what they do. That is the wrong frame. Write about what the client gets and what changes for them. For FAQ, Claude surfaces the 5 most likely objections from your brief and writes honest answers to each. For contact, keep it short. 1 paragraph, 1 CTA, nothing more. At this point, you have a complete first draft of all 5 pages. Each one is specific to your business, because each one was generated from a brief that came from your own answers, not from generic assumptions. Here is why most AI website copy sounds flat. The 5 pages exist. They are accurate and structured. But they do not sound like a person yet. They sound like a well-organized document. 2 steps fix this. First, feed Claude a voice sample. Before you ask for any revision, give it a reference point for how you actually communicate. 3 to 5 sentences from an email, a caption, a proposal, anything you wrote without over-editing. Second, the specificity audit. This is the step that separates copy that works from copy that merely exists. Generic claims don't build trust. Specific claims do. After the audit, you'll have a second round of revisions that are tighter and more honest to your business. The honest version. What Claude produces after the brief and voice pass is a strong first draft, not a final one. Expect 30 minutes of editing after the AI does its part. Lines that feel slightly off, sentences that are accurate but not quite yours. That editing step is not optional, but it is 80% less work than writing from a blank page. Let's recap. The brief forces you to articulate what you do and who it's for, with specificity. The page sequence uses that brief to generate copy that is actually about your business. The voice pass and specificity audit make the output sound like you wrote it, not like it was assembled from a template. None of this requires a paid subscription. Claude's free tier handles every prompt in this workflow. Google Docs handles the rest. What it does require is the brief. That is the non-negotiable. Every shortcut you take with the positioning brief shows up in the copy. Vague inputs produce vague outputs every time. Don't open the homepage prompt today. Open Claude and run the positioning brief interview. Just that. Answer the 5 questions as specifically as you can. Paste the output into a Google Doc. That is the only task. Everything else in this workflow depends on that document being solid. Once the brief is done, the pages take an afternoon. Without the brief, you'll spend that afternoon deleting generic copy. If this was useful, subscribe before you leave.